So today we are going to make an everyday slash spring type design using our new wooden dough bowl. This thing is pretty big. Um, we just got these listed in the shop, so I was excited to work with this. Now I sprayed some gaps and cracks, the insulation foam in here, and then just covered it with some moss. You can use floral foam if you don't want to use the gaps and cracks, but that's what I've already done to get this ready for our design. Now, if you're watching this, I'm probably posting this in early December, and you're probably wondering, why in the heck am I talking about spring already? But if you are a creative and you sell, we need to be months ahead of the season, right? We need to get our Etsy shops and our websites stocked with that, those type of products months in advance, and get them into the algorithm. Get them pinned on Pinterest and all the things. So that is why we are going to start working on some spring designs. So this could go either way. It could go every day. It could be year round. But it is going to be pulling in some pinks and whites and creams. So it definitely could be spring. Okay. So we're going to be using several different florals that I brought in, as well as some succulents. These succulents I buy off of Amazon, and they come in a box. I will list the link for these. I use them every season. So I will list them down in the description of the video, where all of the supplies will be located. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to get our base going just a little bit with just a little bit of greenery. So I'm going to take this pusher bush. This particular one is from Hobby Lobby. We do have some also in the shop that are almost identical. So I will list them both just in case Hobby Lobby doesn't have them. But this is pretty much a staple of theirs. Before I started stocking them in our shop, I would buy them in bulk. So they probably have them. I think the ones we have, they're called Maidenhair Bush. And we have them in a dusty green or just a regular green. So we're just going to take a few of these and kind of and you got to be careful, because I do that every time. I pull my leaves right off there. Okay, so let me show you kind of what we're going to get started with, and then I'll finish and we'll come back. But I'm just going to go kind of hit this a little bit around the sides. And I want this a fairly low design, so that it could sit on a dining room table, a coffee table, and you would still be able to talk around it. So this is going to be a fairly low design. I'm not going to design high with it. So we're not going to have stuff coming way up here. It's going to stay fairly low to our container. I'm just getting a few of these. So you can see how I've done that side. I'm just going to go do that all the way around, and then we're going to get started with our florals. Okay, so I have used about 2.5 of these. So we've got a little bit of this third bush left that we will probably use as some filler towards the middle once we get some of our florals in. So we will have that left as well. So I think the first thing I want to do is start with our larger flowers. So I brought in some of these really pretty pink roses. I'm just going to cut these down. So nice little rose bush. And let me get the tag off. And the leaves, actually, I don't mind. Sometimes you get these bushes and the leaves are just hideous. These ones aren't too bad, so I'm actually going to pull them off in case we need them for filler. Okay. I think I want to do this. Starting right there. We're going to go to the opposite side with this other one, and see I'm keeping it fairly low. Okay, this one's just a tad higher. We don't want them super matchy-matchy, but that's what we got. We got opposite sides. We have our little babies. Our little baby beds. That I'm going to put just right next to each of those. I'm going in diagonal at an angle so that it's lower versus straight up. Okay, that's what we have so far. Let's go in with another one. And I'm going to get some added here in the center. Pick these little leaves off in case we want to use them. I'm going to go sort of right in the center with that one. I'm going to do a little cluster of them. Okay, let me get one more if I want another big bush. I'm going to do that little cluster of 3. Okay, so we have a little cluster of 3. Let's get one of these little babies. Our little baby bed. I'm going to put one on either side. So I just put that little baby bed there. I'm going to do one right here. Okay, and let's get one more. Okay, so I just made a triangle with these little baby beds right next to our little cluster of roses. Okay, we have 2 left. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them just yet, but we will set them aside. I want to go in with, we're going to mix in some succulents. And so I want to bring in a couple of our bigger succulents here. I think I want this one sort of right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors to help me make a hole. And we're going to do the same thing opposite over here. This one. I can find where my starter hole went. Covered up with the moss. There we go. That is what we have so far. We are going to go in, we're going to bring in some of these white peonies. I can get the tag off. And I think I want to leave them pretty clustered. So I'm going to cut them, but we're going to group them together. And because I want them low, I'm going to go in at a diagonal. I may have to put these on a pick. Sometimes working with this gaps and cracks can be a little thicker than your foam. So I'm just going to put these on a pick. I'm going to go in at a diagonal here. Okay, so I just went in at a diagonal. I'm going to put the other ones right next to it. I'm going to cut the stem down just a hair. That pick did not even get on there good. Well, let's see if we can make it work. A little cluster right there. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to put a little cluster on this other side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so I have a cluster of those on both sides, sort of diagonal from each other. Now I brought in some of the pink ones as well. I think I want to add the pink down here. Going kind of right underneath the succulent with that stem. I'm going to have some right there. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this opposite side. And let's see. I'm going to put a cluster right next to the roses here in the center. And I'm going to have to take a short break and put some more picks in my pick machine. But you can see I added some right here. We're going to add some on this side. So I am going to fix my pick machine. I'm going to put another cluster right on the opposite side over here, and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to add one more cluster. So you can see here on this side, I added 2 of the pink ones. I'm going to go ahead and add another one on this side. We've got 2 clusters of the pink. Just like that. Okay, now let's go in with a couple more succulents. So this is going to be sort of a mix of succulents and florals. So just tucked in one right here. I'm going to add a small one diagonal on the other side. They're going to be a little bit different because this is like an assorted arrangement of succulents, so they're not all going to be the same. But I added that one right there. We also have, let's add a couple of our berries before we add more succulents. I brought in some of these berries. I'm not a super fan of the leaves, but I like the berries. No, I'm gonna need a pick. I was trying to do it without the pick, not gonna work. Okay, so I just put right in between our big bud and our little bud, I just put a piece of berry. I'm going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Okay, and I think I want a piece right in the center. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more. Okay. Let's get another one. I had someone ask me one time, if you see me clip those little tags off and stick them to the side, someone asked me what I was doing with those. I am saving them so that one, I can put the product list together for you guys, and two, so I can price the arrangement out. I have a spreadsheet, and for each design, I will list all of the supplies with the pricing, so that I can determine how much I'm going to list my arrangement for based on the products that we use. Okay, so I just put that piece right here. I think I might add one on this side as well. So that's what I'm doing with these tags. When you see me clip them and set them to the side, someone asked me once what I was doing with those. That is why I'm saving them. Try to determine if I like that one in there. I think I do, but I'm going to clip this one little berry off. Okay, so I added a little berry there in the corner. I'm going to go on this side. I think just add this little scrap berry underneath the rose here. There we go. I'm going to take this little baby one. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I'm going to save these. We might add a few more in just a little bit. I think I want to get a couple more succulents added. So I'm going to go in with this piece. And I just tucked it in right here. Tuck this one in, tucked it in right there. Trying to see which one I want next. I like that one. Okay, so I just tucked that little succulent right there. I need to get another one added back here on the back. So basically I'm just kind of looking for some holes where it looks like we need a little bit of something something. I may give some of these little greens a haircut. We'll see. Just tuck that one there on the end. Tuck that one there on that end. It's looking quite lovely. Okay. Now I think I want to take a couple of these, sort of tuck it in the center. Bring some of that greenery out. Touched my finger with that. A piece of the plastic is melting on there. Get that off there. Okay, so I'm just bringing some of the greenery now into our design, so it's not just on the edges. I'm going to give a couple of these little green pieces a haircut. just clean it up a little bit. I think I'm gonna did I bring another one in? Maybe we can add one of our little leaves in here. Thought that would pull right off, but it's not. So let me clip it. I had a little bit of a hole there, so I just added one of those leaves. I could probably take and add a couple of these here and there, just to kind of go right on this side. Okay, so that they're kind of opposite of each other. I'm going to add another berry down. I'm calling it the front, but this is really could be a 360 design because pretty much everything we're doing on one side, we're doing on the other. So it can go either way. But my front right now, I'm putting those berries in between those succulents to kind of break those succulents up a little bit. And so I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Putting these berries in between these two succulents. I'm going to clip this little leaf out of here. Some berries right there. brought in, I don't know if we're going to use them, but I had brought in these little Ranunculus blossom bushes. So I thought maybe we could add a couple of these. Let's just cut one and see. They're very, very similar to the peony sprays we use. Just have a little berry on it, or a little, yeah, I guess like a little berry stem. But the flower beds are very, very similar, even though they're called, one's peony and one's called ranunculus. Okay, I think I like it there, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hit it with some glue in there, so I don't have to take it back out. Now this part is optional because you don't want the expense of another flower. You don't have to do this part. I think it kind of looks nice here. Trying to get into that foam. Okay, so opposite ends. Just add with those right there. I almost think I want to break up the pink here in the center. Still focusing on keeping it fairly low. So they're just going to peek up just a tiny bit. I'm going to pull this little bud out and add it on a pick because I want it was getting hidden. Yeah, hot. I'm going to fix it. There we go. Same thing with this one. I'm going to add one more cluster over here. I think that is looking pretty lovely. Trying to see if I want to add anything else before we call it a day. Almost feel like right in here we need something, but I don't want to go crazy, right? Maybe we can just bend our berries up a little. There we go. I just gave my berries a little bit of a bend up, and it kind of filled in that little spot. Okay, y'all, I think we are done. I think it turned out beautifully. Here's our little arrangement with our succulents. Almost feel now that I'm looking at it kind of in the camera that maybe this succulent needs to come out. We need something else, like a bigger succulent. I'll just pull the head of that off. But that one is kind of the same one we already used, so I don't want to use that one. Could add that one there, but I don't know. I think it might be too big. Let's see what else we got in here. Ooh, I kind of like this one. It's got a big stem on it, so I'm gonna have to try to get it in there. There we go. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to hit some glue in there. Okay, so I just added that one right there. And if I can get another stem, because I pulled that stem off of there, see if this one of these will work. I might add this one back in here on the end. Yes. I had some glue around that where I reattached it. Maybe, nope, came right off. I gotta let that glue set. Okay, once that glue gets dried, I'm going to add it right there. Once the glue gets dried, I'm going to add it right here. I think we need a little something, something right there. Okay, y'all, I'm jumping back on because I think I want to add a couple of succulents here in the center. Right here in the center, but I need them to show. I want them to show. So I'm going to take a floral pick and just wrap that wire around here. You could get some, let's see if I have any, some floral tape. I'm just going to wrap some floral tape around that. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Now this is probably too long, but let's see. No, it's actually going to work out perfect. Get some glue on there. Okay, you guys can see. Let me put you guys on the other view. So you can see how I just added that succulent right there. I think it needed that in the center. I'm thinking we're going to do one up here as well. So again, I'm going to get a floral pick. Okay, and I'm going to wrap the little wire around. And then I'm going to take some floral tape. I'm going to wrap the floral tape around it. I'm going to be very generous with that tape. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so now we've built our own little pick. My pick machine, the pick would not have been long enough to get down into that center. Okay, and now we're going to add that one right there. Now this is a very close design. If you like a more airy design, just space stuff out and don't use as much product. Okay, I used a lot of product It's a very clustered design, very tight together. That's just kind of what I was going for, but you can make it more airy, use less product. But I think that looks better with those little succulents there in the center. Okay, y'all. So here is our finished design. Think it turned out beautifully. This could be on a dining room table, a buffet table, entryway, foyer design, all the things. It could be every day. It's got a lot of spring in it with the pink and the whites and the creams. But I just love how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new to our channel, we'd love to have you subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we have new tutorials. So until next time, bye y'all.